What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are. We want to before we get started, I just want to remind everybody you can sign up for TrueDFS right now for a free month. Get all my player projections, all of how much I own of everybody, my ownership percentages, my bets of the day. Sheets, which have been just absolutely crushing all other sports. And I want to give a quick shout out to Baby T, one of our guys who won 10K off of over 10K off of like $60 last night. We've been crushing it, so we want to keep it going. We got a monster slate today, obviously playing for the million, so that's going to be kind of a big one. But I want to focus in on 5 of my favorite plays on the slate. Some chalky, some not. That's how we do it. Starting off with a chalky guy, I love George Springer here. I know he's going to be popular. I think that a pivot will be Eloy Jimenez, but they're both going to be fairly owned. But George Springer against lefties, just getting back, I think he makes that Toronto lineup stronger. I do like Toronto better as a stack than I have in recent weeks. And I think that George Springer is probably my favorite bat on Toronto and one of my favorite overall in the slate. I think he goes deep tonight, or at least puts up a game where it's more than the equivalent of a home run. Looking for somewhere between 20 and 30 from him tonight. I really think it's a great spot for him against Baltimore. Next, I want to talk about a guy who is going to be, I think, a little bit off the board tonight. It's hard to know with him because he's been so hot. I keep expecting people to catch on. Patrick Wisdom, who cost me 120K last week with that home run in the ninth with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That was a bummer, but tonight maybe he helps me win $1 million. I think Patrick Wisdom in that game, which a game I absolutely love, the Cubs and Twins. I think Wisdom is in a great spot, and I think that I like the guy's problem is strikeouts. You got Gant, and then a fairly low strikeout bullpen behind him in Minnesota. So I think that there's a really good chance for Wisdom to take one deep tonight. And I do like the Cubbies in general. Ian Happ also would be another guy I like, a little better price on FanDuel. Next, I'm going to talk about an obvious guy. You can play him on FanDuel, though, too, and he won't be popular. Buxton's going to be really popular on DraftKings. I love that game. I think Buxton is an awesome play. One interesting thing I was considering doing was actually stacking Minnesota without Buxton, just because of how much I like Minnesota and Buxton's ownership. And I just don't think anyone's going to do it that way. But overall, I'm probably going to end up, especially my big buy-ins, with Buxton in a good number of them on both sites. I think Buxton is one of the best plays on the board. He's 3,200 on DraftKings. He's 37 on FanDuel, which is expensive, and probably where he should be priced, which would be the equivalent of about 5K on DraftKings. And I think that's where he belongs. So absolutely love Byron Buxton in all formats tonight. You could also play Donaldson in that stack, who I like quite a bit. Polanco is really cheap on DK. Araya is really cheap on FanDuel. Sano, and it's a good matchup for him. The Cubs have just been awful and giving up 1 million runs, and I think this is a great spot to try and attack them. Another one is going to be one of my popular stacks, and I mentioned Jimenez already, but I am a fan of playing. So I have a problem at catcher because I really like Grandal tonight. He's really expensive on FanDuel. I'm sorry, on DraftKings, very affordable on FanDuel. But I think he's an excellent part of the stack, but I don't know that people are going to go there as much as maybe I will. The other one, though, this is sort of a 1A, 1B, because I really like Salvador Perez tonight. I don't think people have caught on to the fact this guy's got 38 home runs. He was player of the week last week at 6 home runs. Good matchup for him. I really, really like Sal Perez, and I really like Grandal as spend ups at catcher. So I guess I'll just call this a catcher for one spot situation. Last guy I'm going to mention here is Trevor Story. Trevor Story and Brendan Rodgers both grade out really well for me. I'm actually playing them together in lineups on FanDuel. But Trevor Story is an awesome one-off play, or even part of a stack. We know how much Lyles sucks, and I, by the way, may use some Lyles tonight. So wish me luck. I've made money off this guy stacking against him. He's burned me sometimes, and now maybe he can help me win $1 million, because I actually kind of think that Lyles is in play at 5,200. Overall, though, I more side with the Rockies bats, and especially Story. Lyles, you can run all over the place on him, and I expect if Story gets on that he could easily take off, steal 1, maybe 2. Same with Rodgers, and anybody else in that lineup basically will have the license to steal as far as I'm concerned. So I really like Story, though, and his price is reasonable, especially on FanDuel at 3,400. But on DraftKings, even as a spend up, I don't mind him at all versus the other shortstops. I like Tim Anderson a lot. I like Bichette a lot. But when you factor everything in, I think Story is probably the best just one-off, assuming that you don't have anybody else in those stacks. And I think he's an awesome play on the slate tonight. I will do a little bonus, just a guy who I also really like from the Chicago side of things. I like Andrew Vaughn. I think the power upside is there, and I think he's affordable, and he helps make things work on both sides. I don't expect him to be way off the board, but I think the power upside, really like the White Sox tonight. I have them currently as tied for my number 1 stack. And I think that he is a big part of those lineups. I think Brian Goodwin is an interesting pivot who people will never play at the bottom of the order at 3,400, I believe, on DraftKings, and 2,400, I believe, on FanDuel. So those are just some interesting thoughts that I currently have my stacks and all my plays listed up on truedfs.com. Check it out now for a month free. And yeah, let's crush it tonight, guys. I really am excited. And hopefully those little bad beats at the end won't get me tonight. And we can come home with even if it's not the million, something close to it. Because I feel like I'm feeling good, I'm feeling dialed in, and I feel like it's time to really win the big one. Anyway, good luck to everybody out there for True DFS. I'm BobbyFi saying we'll hopefully see you guys at the top of the leaderboards. Good luck, everybody.